Welcome to Buena Ventura Life. This video is about project management and budgeting. Thank you for watching. Know your budget. Although you have a rough idea, know what you can spend. Total amount. Look over time. Buena Ventura, I know I'm going to spend tens of thousands of dollars over several years, but the initial costs up front are something else, so I have to plan that. When you make your budget, be honest with the numbers. It's no good for yourself to price something at $100 when the actual true cost of fees and taxes and tariffs and whatever else comes to $5,000. So be honest. It's only way of making sure that you can afford something. Project management software includes pricing out resources, cost of labor, cost of parts, adding in fees and tariffs. Very powerful tool to use. Excel also can come with that. Don't go crazy over the term boat bucks. Yes, it's a nice shorthand, but keep it for the outside world. Another part is time versus money. We're all familiar with you can hire somebody to do the job, or you can do the job yourself. Or you have to learn to do the job. Understand the trade-offs, but if you go wild on spending money, then your budget has to accommodate that. Need or want list, wish list, want list, absolutely have to have list. There's a limit to our budget, so sometimes we might want the $20,000 radar unit, but we have to go with the $10,000 used one. Just understand that everything in the budget is a trade-off, but you do have a limit to your budget. Understand the true cost of the entire project, which is composed of a lot of little projects. Say you're adding a new fresh water pump. So you have the fresh water pump, $90, $100. Then you have the fittings to make the manifold. You have the mounting hardware to mount the new pump in place, an accumulator, different line fittings, a shut-off valve, and soon your $100 pump is now $175 or $200. Understand the extra fees. You haul out, it says haul and block. And yet when you get the bill, there's a tarp fee, there's a stand fee, there's other fees and taxes. Understand the total true cost, not just the part cost. One of the things we have to do when we're putting together our budget is plan on travel expenses. It costs money. Okay, now we're fueling. One of the things we have to consider is it costs money to go back and forth. If you're rebuilding a boat, if it's across the street, that's one thing. But if it's miles away, like let's see, Buena Ventura is probably about 130 miles, 2.5 hours on a good day, 4 hours on a bad. On Friday afternoons, rush hour, it takes almost 4 hours. And then we're driving the truck, which, big old diesel truck. Even though fuel is cheap here in Grenholm, it still costs money. So when you're planning your budget, be sure to put in the fuel, the oil changes. If you have to stop at a hotel, stay overnight on a hotel instead of your boat, that's another cost that you have to account for. So when you're planning your budget, be realistic. Don't try and skim on anything. Meals, when you're off, unless you're eating on board as a normal habit like I do, to me it's a normal weekday expense. But if you're stopping at restaurants, that's another issue. So, budget well. A good budget counts all the costs associated, not just the part part replacement, but all the fees, charges, some may be one time, some may be repeating, some may be like, cost of being on the hard. So it's add them all up, put them all in, and then make your decisions about what to buy, what not to buy, and how to price out or pay for things over time. Absolutely hard on your realism. Be realistic. Big project like Buena Ventura, tens of thousands of dollars spread over several years. That's my project. Your project might be quite smaller. You may acquire a small sport fisher, which only needs some minor fiberglass work. And so you can budget for that appropriately. But be realistic. Remember, you just can't walk into something and say, okay, here's my money, take me. Be realistic, understand what you're doing and how much it's really going to cost. Thankful for that. Okay. I love butyl tape. A lot of this boat is protected with it right now. Just put this in like caulking. Get a good seal to the deck. Super flexible. Super attach the keel or the flange. Bought this. This came from a trailer supply company. They use it on trailer windows. It's great bedding compound. And it comes off easily. Whew. I'm trying to get this done before the sun comes out. So get it in the wrong place, just pick it up, move it. As long as it's fairly clean, it'll stick. Toughest thing in the world is to walk away from your dream boat. I have done it several times. I've looked at boats, I've made the estimate, I've cost out everything that would take, and the initial asking price is what a boat in good condition would be. You offer something less, they refuse it and say, this is what it's going to cost. You look and you have to make the decision. It's my dream boat, but it costs too much to fix. Do you walk away? I have, and it's possible you will too. So you do the math, you do the estimates, you do everything you can to understand that this boat, purchase price plus all the parts and labor needed to put it back together and running and seaworthy, you want to own it. The last thing is check the sales of similar boats, or if not the same model, and see if you're going to overpay at the end. That's part of walking away, but it's also part of, wow, I can actually have this multi-thousand-dollar boat for this amount of money under even the worst priced models. In other words, you're going to get a boat for $10,000. You're going to put $20,000 in. It's $30,000, and a same boat at minimal conditions is going for 60. That's a deal. And if you want it, that's one that I would do and am doing. So you have to be careful about what you choose and not choose. Thank you for watching Buena Ventura Life Project Management Budgeting. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you.